Hey everyone, this is Derek here and welcome to a special midday or evening video depending on where you are in the world because PUBG Mobile, the developers, just announced that the servers will be taken offline for an 8-hour maintenance period in just about 8 hours from when I'm releasing this video. And that is exciting because it means the update is coming. So do not get this confused with when the update is actually going to show up in the App Store. So they're doing maintenance, and what that means is they're preparing the servers, they're transferring databases, they're preparing the servers for 0.7.0, that global update that brings a ton of new features. However, it doesn't mean that the update is going to come out as soon as the maintenance finishes. In fact, I would guess that it's going to be 24 to 48 hours after the servers come back online before the update shows up. Now, if it comes out earlier, that's awesome. Let's be excited about it. However, don't forget that Apple has to approve the update, and depending on when they submit the update to Apple, it generally takes like 1 to 3 days. So I would think that the update is going to come out on the 24th. That's my guess. It's only a guess. It's not official. I don't want you guys, going crazy in the comments over it, but that would be when I would think the update would come out, because typically the maintenance takes place on Sunday night unless it gets delayed, and then we're gonna have to push everything back a day. But typically the maintenance in America is Sunday night, so that would be like early Monday morning in India and in a lot of other places in the world. And basically, once the servers come back online, you're still going to be in 0.6.1 until the app stores, so the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, actually push the 0.7.0 update out. Now, it's possible, again, like the last update, that the Samsung store gets it first and they leak it by accident, and who knows? That's probably not going to happen again. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that store too to see if the new version drops there first, like last time. So there you have it. Definitely get excited. What feature are you most excited for about this new PUBG Mobile 0.7.0 global update? I think, just to make this video a little more interesting, we're going to jump into the beta and we'll take a look at the new 3 and 6 times scopes. There's really not enough content there to make a whole video about them. I said I would, do like a video just on the scopes, but I still think they're cool enough to take a look at and get excited about. So I'll meet you guys in the beta right now. So here we are in the PUBG Mobile Public 0.7.0 global beta. Let's go ahead and jump into training mode, and we will take a look at those new 3 and 6 times scopes that are coming out in the PUBG Mobile 0.7.0 global update. So let's go ahead and grab a weapon that is compatible with the scopes. Let's go for an M4. Why not? Yeah, we'll go for the M4. Just one of the most popular weapons right now. Let's go ahead and grab an extended quick draw on it and maybe a suppressor for fun. That should be enough stuff. Let's grab some more 5.56, and then we will take a look at the scopes. So the scopes are over here, and there's a new 3 times and adjustable 6 times scope. So what makes these scopes so special? So we have the 2 times. Let's grab the 2 times and the 4 times for comparison too. So basically, the 2 times has a very similar magnification to the red dot. So you know what? Let's just grab a red dot too. So the holographic, the red dot, and the 2 times all have a very similar level of magnification. And in order to show you that, let's take a look at what they look like. So this is the red dot. You can see how large the 25-meter target looks. Then we'll swap over to the 2 times. You can see very, very similar. So a lot of people don't realize that. They immediately think, oh, a 2 times is better than a red dot or a holographic for sniping people and stuff. And sure, it's a little better as far as the whatever it's called in the middle. I forget. It's like the retinal or something is better at hitting people. But the red dot is very, very similar. So now let's jump to the 3 times, and we'll talk about why I think that this is an excellent scope. So the 3 times scope is long enough that it allows you to better hit people who are further away, like the person by this tree, for example. However, it's also not so magnified that it prevents you from seeing people who are close. So one of the biggest issues with a scope like the 8 times or even the 4 times is that you can't really leave it on a weapon if you're expecting to fight people in close combat. Now, the 2 times is great for that. I prefer the 2 times for close combat right now, but after this update, I have a feeling I'm going to prefer the 3 times because the magnification is low enough that you can still, the sensitivity, you can set the sensitivity so that you can still gauge people in close combat, somebody who might be like 30, 35 meters away. However, it's also magnified enough that it allows you to shoot people who might be 100 or 200 meters away much better than you could do with a 2 times or a red dot. So I think that this falls into the sweet spot of the perfect scope for short to mid-range. Now, the 6 times scope is also very interesting because the 6 times, like the 8 times, is quite adjustable. So let's go to 4 times real quick. I'm kind of bouncing around in this video. I do apologize for that, but we'll go to the 4 times and I'll show you that the magnification difference between the 4 times and the 3 times is pretty substantial. So we're looking at this 20 meter target now. You can see that the entire board of the target and most of the paper is taken up by our sight picture. So now when we jump back to the 3 times scope, you'll notice that you have quite a bit more view side to side. So this is why I think that this scope is much better at getting people in the short to medium range than the 4 times, which is just a little too magnified for that. And the 6 times falls in a nice sweet spot between the 4 and the 8. Now, the 8 times scope is an adjustable between 4 and 8 times. This makes it pretty versatile. However, at the low end of that magnification, at 4 times, it's still too zoomed in for most, close combat situations. Again, like 20 to 30 meters away. Now, the 6 times scope is awesome because it allows you to adjust between 3 times and 6 times. So now you have the performance of a 3 times scope, which, like I said, is quite useful at that close combat to medium range combat. And then you have the length of the 6 times, which is better than a 4 times for long combat. So this is why I think these new scopes are so powerful. So I prefer both of these almost over the old scopes because you get a 6 times, which is adjustable between 3 and 6, which makes it pretty useful for everything from short to medium range combat to all the way to pretty long combat. And then you have the 3 times, which, like I said, if you find it early in the game, is a much better short to mid-range scope, in my opinion, than like a red dot or 2 times. Now, if you're, storming buildings and doing something like 10, 15 meter combat, then perhaps the red dot would be the best because it obscures your vision the least. But I think that the 3 times is going to generally replace the 2 times, and we'll see if I'm right or not, but that would be my opinion at least. And then the 6 times, the other neat thing is it's very hard to see on your screen, but basically it tells you how much you should account for bullet drops. There's a little rangefinder built in. You can see if we go to a light background, it's a little bit easier to see there, but you can see 300, 400, 500, 600, 800. Now, anything beyond 400 meters doesn't really matter in the mobile version of the game because people don't render beyond that anyways. But up to 400 meters, it's useful, although I still prefer enemies ahead. And I showcase this in a separate video, but if we go here, let's pretend that there's somebody over in that window. We'll zoom back into 6 times. And it's interesting to note that your sensitivity does change based on your magnification. So now, after this update, if you are between 3 and 6 times, it takes your sensitivity levels of both a 3 times scope and a 6 times scope and mixes them together. So if you have your 6 times a lot less sensitive than your 3 times, as you zoom in with this scope, you're going to be able to more easily adjust it without over adjusting. And if you have your 3 times set a lot faster, when you zoom out to 3 times, you'll be able to move around a lot faster. So just a cool feature. But like I said, there's a rangefinder built in. The whole point of that is supposed to be to allow you to figure out how far away people are and account for their bullet drop. But the bullet drop is pretty minimal in this game. There is bullet drop. People have said, oh, there's no bullet drop in the game. There definitely is, but it generally doesn't play that much of a factor until you're out super far. Because you can see that guy is 300 meters away, and I really didn't account for bullet drop at all, and I was still able to hit him. Let's see if we can hit him one more time. Yeah, see, very, very slow or very minimal bullet drop. And if you're wondering how far away something is, I still think enemies ahead is the easier way to do it. So once you, let's see if we can do this.
Enemies ahead.
Distance exceeded 800 meters. That's surprising. Well, let's see if we can get the 150 meter target.
Enemies ahead.
Okay, maybe it's just bugged in the beta.
Enemies ahead.
That's weird. Yeah, because that's definitely not more than, it's 150 meters away.
Enemies ahead.
Yeah, so perhaps enemies ahead is just bugged in the beta. Maybe we found a bug there.
Enemies
Yeah,
ahead.
see, 33 meters. That's useful. But generally, in the release, I'm sure they'll fix it. And you can use that as a rangefinder up to 800 meters. So you don't have to really worry about using the scope as a rangefinder, because instead you can just use enemies ahead. And we know that this is 150 meters away, this structure. Or no, it's 200. Just about 200 meters away. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Enemies
But
ahead.
anyways, that is a rather odd bug. So let's just switch scopes and see if it's a scope that's causing the issue or if it's just an issue with the beta. So no,
Enemies ahead.
guess it's just with the beta. Hey, we found a bug. Yay. Anyways, hopefully you found this video helpful. Announced maintenance for PUBG Mobile. Again, just to recap, the maintenance is going to be about 8 hours from when this video goes up on YouTube. And it should last for around 8 hours, which is a long time. So if you want to get some games in, make sure you get them in before that, or you're going to have to wait a while, or play the Chinese version while you're waiting. So my name's Derek G. If you found this video helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends to help grow the channel. I certainly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, definitely consider doing that now too, for tons more PUBG Mobile content, including gameplay, tips and tricks, loot location highlights, update news like this, and a ton more coming soon. I hope to see you on the battlefield soon or in my Discord, which I'll also leave a link to down below.